What's going on, y'all? Like, comment, subscribe if you haven't done so already. If you'd like to donate to the channel, the cash app's at the top right corner of the video. But let's get into it, man, because there's a lot of things that we got to go over in regards to the situation involving Drake and XXXTentacion and the trial that involves them too. So basically, this is the man that kicked it all off. This is Mauricio Padilla. He is the man that represents one of the people in the slaying of XXXTentacion, one of the dudes that took him out. He represents him. That's his lawyer. This is his lawyer right here, right? He's the one that tried to get Drake in court. He's the one that tried to get Drake involved in this court case, try to get him subpoenaed, all that, right? Going back to this case right here, going back to this article right here, where they talk about Padilla and Drake, it says here, TMZ reports Drake successfully petitioned to avoid a deposition, which was originally pushed by defense attorney Mauricio Padilla in connection to the feud between Drake and XXX. According to Rolling Stone, Drake had been facing a court order to testify via Zoom on February 24th, based on the attorney's argument that before X passed, he said, "If anybody kills me, it's Drake." The comment referenced the 2018 social media post, which later X said was due to him being hacked, saying that his account was hacked and saying that he wasn't the one that said that. However, there is a lot of things that play into the involvement of this post and the people involved around X at the time, and a lot of things that Padilla has said after going over this with the people in the courtroom and everything that he tried to do to get Drake in the courtroom. This man essentially is trying to do everything that he can to get Drake to appear in court or participate in the courtroom in any shape or form, in any way possible, for his client. You know, his client is the one that slain X, that unalived X, and he's trying to get Drake to appear and give the court reasons why he should appear, at least to have this conversation with the court and everybody else involved. Now it says here, Daedric Williams, one of the three defendants convicted for his involvement in the murder of rapper XXXTentacion, is filing court documents for an appeal. In his petition, Williams' attorney Mauricio Padilla points to rapper's Drake's alleged feud with the victim as proof that he could be an alternate suspect. Padilla sat down with Law and Crime's Jesse Weber to talk about the filings. He explains in this video why he thinks Drake should be involved in this situation over his client. He's trying to look for an alternative source of why this could have happened besides his client. So in a way, he's trying to throw this at Drake. But it's just funny how this is happening when Drake goes against UMG. Drake is going against UMG in legal action currently. And out of nowhere, what a coincidence, this XXXTentacion trial starts kicking back up with an appeal. Now, the appeal is very important. If you don't know, back in the day when this first kicked off, they tried to do this in the beginning. They tried to get Drake in court. They tried to get him on a Zoom call at the very least, and they weren't able to do it at all. It says here that Drake's lawyer, Bradford Cohen, said no evidence has been provided to substantiate an assertion that Drake in any way contributed to, had knowledge of, or participated in the alleged incident, and to mandate that he appear for deposition for something that he very clearly has no relevant knowledge of and is unreasonable. Now, back in the day when Anthony Padilla had talked about this, when he was trying to pitch this idea to the court to try to get Drake to come into court, or at least through a Zoom call, he had tried to express that there were several reasons why he thinks Drake should be in court for this situation involving XXXTentacion. One of them being that he would throw up gang signs. One of the things that they had tried to express was Drake throwing up gang signs with Lil Wayne that represented similar gang signs that were also used for gang ties that Drake has that could have been involved in X's slaying. With this, they're trying to imply that Drake himself has gang ties that could circulate his involvement in the slaying of XXXTentacion, saying that he does have ties and he does have the capability of doing this. Really, this is what they said back then when they first kicked this off. Now it gets crazier because now they're bringing up Top 5, which was somebody that Drake is friends with, somebody that Drake helped with their legal fees to get out of prison, and they bring him up in this video here. Watch.
Evidence that Drake is out there flaunting gang ties. We put forth evidence of Hassan Ali, which is top 5 out there openly claiming on social media and video that he's Drake's shooter. And part of the theory of defense is to show, listen, even though these people are entertainers, okay, there's a a gang related portion of it. There's a gang related side to it,
and this is them basically trying to express that top 5 is proof that Drake has these gang ties in some sort of capacity. But top 5 coming out and saying what he said is what they're going to use in their case to prove that Drake does have gang involvement, that Drake is involved with gangs, that Drake is cool with gangs, and that if they need any type of proof, well, here's one individual right now that shows you that, yeah, Drake is tied with some gang members, or Drake is tied with people who will willingly go and crash out for him. So them bringing up top 5, I'm not sure if they brought that up in the past, but they're bringing that up now, which I'm assuming is new because they're talking about how top 5 got out online. Top 5 started doing what he did online, started saying the things that he said online. Has the lawyers in this case bring this up because they wanted to prove that Drake does have ties with people who are gang related. Now, another thing that they wanted to point out that this lawyer is talking about, because this lawyer represents one of the individuals. If you don't know who this individual is, I believe his name is Robert Allen. He was the one that testified. He's the one that snitched on his co-defendants. He's the one that basically told on the other guys. And the other guy's lawyer, which is Padilla, he tried to cross-examine him, and he tried to ask him a few questions about what was going on, about the involvement, about the slaying of X. And he asked them a very specific question in the cross-examination situation. He asked them if his father had ties to Toronto, because apparently this man's father has ties to drug connections, gun connections, and gang connections, as well as having connections in Toronto. So this is something that the lawyer was going to ask him about while he was locked up, while he was cross-examining him. Before they could even get to that point, somebody had objected and he couldn't answer the question. But essentially, this Padilla character, this Padilla lawyer, he was trying to ask this man, the one who snitched, if his father had ties to Toronto.
Okay. With Allen admitted that his father, known drug dealer, known firearms dealer, as the brief states, produced at least one of the guns that was used in this. When I asked him about his father and ties to Toronto and drug dealing, the state objected, and the judge didn't allow that question.
So you could see they're giving him a hard time, trying to bring any type of way to get Drake out here, like bringing up Allen's father having ties to Toronto, bringing up gang affiliations that Drake could possibly have. What we forget to notice is that in court, these lawyers will use that so that way they could plead a case. They could plead their case to make this happen, to make Drake come out into this courtroom. Mainly is that this opens a can of worms for Drake, because now this brings in a possibility, a chance for him to step in the courtroom with them. But like I said, there's this lawyer that Drake has that's not letting it happen. He's an attorney for Drake. He's going to try everything he can not to bring Drake in. But there's just a lot of things that are going on in real time as this case is going on its own, as it grows on its own. But a lot of things that people are pointing out in regards to this is that UMG is going head to head with Drake. Drake is taking legal action against UMG. And now all of a sudden, all this is happening with XXXTentacion's trial. Now, this is an appeal. This is them trying to appeal the situation. But if anything, they're trying to get him involved. Another thing that they had said that I found interesting was that when XXXTentacion was posting about Drake, there was a photo of this man, an explicit photo of a man that looked like Drake doing something, you know, shouldn't be shared on the internet. And the lawyer says that XXXTentacion had told academics to share this on Instagram, which was this photo of this man that looked like Drake doing explicit things. Academics said, no, I'm not going to post it. And then this is X having a conversation with academics, and academics tells X, well, you shouldn't probably mess with Drake, even though he's not a gangster. You probably shouldn't mess with somebody like that. I'm paraphrasing right now, but basically that's something that he said. Something along those lines is what academics had told X. And this is something that is funny because now moving forward, academics is one of Drake's biggest supporters, one of Drake's biggest fans. I mean, if somebody like X had told academics to post an explicit image of somebody that looks like Drake to make him look a type of way, and then academics is telling him, no, I'm not going to do that, and then warns him, hey, you probably shouldn't do that. I mean, I know he's not a gangster or nothing, but you probably shouldn't mess with a guy like that. They're trying to connect Drake in regards to this. I honestly have no idea if they're going to be able to bring Drake in court, but it's funny how all this happens when Drake's going against UMG. It's a crazy thing, a crazy scenario, and a crazy time for this to happen. But I'm not sure if this man, this lawyer, is going to be able to get Drake to go to court. I'm not even sure he's going to be able to get him on a Zoom call. They tried to do it before and they couldn't do it. But a lot of people think that Drake is trying to take credit for the situation, trying to like brag about it, like as if he did it because he didn't like X. And then when X passed away, he kind of like made song lyrics, made a kind of like a reference to it. And people really thought that Drake was talking about X, but a lot of people think that he's just doing that just to be petty. Like he has no association with the slang, but acting like he does have an association with the slang just to get like cool points, I guess. I'm not sure. It doesn't make sense. I wouldn't try to claim a killing, bro. I mean, honestly, that's just problems that I don't want. And that's the reason why these lawyers are trying to look at Drake now, trying to help their clients get off by bringing Drake into the situation. But yeah, this happening with the Drake and UMG situation happening is all crazy. It's just a clusterfuck of mess. It just doesn't make sense to me sometimes. It's just crazy. Now, do I think that Drake is going to be involved in some type of way in this court case? I don't know. The first time it didn't really look good. It didn't work out. I think now with everything that's happening, the gang ties, like all these things that he's bringing up now, he's going to use that to try to help his case. As of right now, it's up in the air, bro. I couldn't tell you if Drake is going to be on here, bro. It just doesn't look good with the whole UMG thing going on, but who knows, man? Who knows, honestly? But y'all tell me how y'all feel about this, man. I'm probably going to cover this on the live. Y'all tell me how y'all feel. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next video, man. Peace.